Live.
Hello, everybody. Because of an unfortunate error, somebody has left the Eargasm wheel unattended, and the Crazy Canadians are taking over. So here we are. Welcome. I'm Rob Weber. This is the Eargasm show for tonight. I'm making it bigger so I can see what the hell is going on because I'm old. Why? I just had a birthday. That is a shameless plug for everybody, all of you, even those that I'm looking at to clap and just revere me for a second. It's weird. The doctor said this would happen if I kept taking those tabs of paper. I also eat a lot of confetti. So, speaking of what's been going on lately, strangest, I'm out at the bar the other night, and this woman walks in right out of nowhere. She suddenly decides she's going to get her nipple pierced. At the exact same time, I got kicked off the fucking dart team. Funny how that works out. But I was actually at the gym, is what I kept telling Cheryl. Turns out the bartender's name there, Jim. So that's where I've been. And then it turns out, because I got high, I had to fucking remember it was my birthday. So I wandered on home, and here's my wife asking me where I've been. And I says, happy belated birthday, about last night. Yeah. How's your nipple? Speaking of my wife, she is a wonderful lady, and she's going to open our show. I'm just going to throw her on up here because, why? I love watching Dino throw his hands in the air, and this lady loves. Thank you, Lance. Happy birthday to me again. Somebody heard my shameless plug. Great to hear it. He's loving me. Oh, there's two. Here's two. I'm just living for the likes. I'm an old man and I have to do this. But speaking of, my wife with her brand new pierced nipple from the former captain of the dart team. Give it up for our bullet spot. Ironic she's that. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cheryl Weber.
Hello. The better half of the couple is here now. Look, he's wandered off. I actually have the floor. Can you imagine? I'm just going to enjoy that moment of silence while we have it. Oh, I'm so cheeky, aren't I? Anyways, you know what? It's kind of funny. I was thinking about something the other day. It's interesting. I have some adult children, and I don't know if any of you do. Matt, do you have children? Alexa?
God, I hope not.
That's an impossibility.
Well, okay. So, you children at all?
I am a child. You kidding me?
And Dino, you are the child for like
definitely.
Yeah, 100%. For sure. I already know that about you. Well, it's interesting when you have kids, you want to kind of take them out and explore the world. And they had this really neat kind of science exhibit up here in Canada at some point called Bodyworks. And what it was an exhibit of dead people in weird kind of poses in different layers of not skin. So you could see their muscles and their veins and all their arteries. You know, so a good mama takes her daughters to that just so they can get exposed to the world and see what that looks like. All in the name of science. It seems a little creepy now that I'm saying that out loud. I hear you. So off we were, and I'm a bit of a science geek. I got to tell you that. I just am. And so I'm pointing all these kind of things out with these dead bodies. Interestingly enough, while we're walking through, the power goes out. Now, can you imagine the fucking thoughts that went through my head when the fucking power went off? Now, at some point, you wait for the extra power to come on. The generator's got to click in, and they're starting to go. It didn't happen. So after like 20 seconds, I was like, am I dead? Well, I can't be dead. There's no fucking light. They all talk about go to the light. There's no light. I cannot be dead because so that's going on. But then the next thing that happens is, okay, I can't see. So I should actually use my hands to feel. And if people that have glasses, you kind of know you can't see. You just sort of put your hands out. I could not do that. And strangely enough, everybody was dead silent in there. The horrors that were going through my mind. Thank goodness the lights eventually came on and got booted out of there. Can you imagine what my kids must have thought, though, taking them to some creepy kind of exhibits? Yoo-hoo! I know. Well, can you imagine what the heck that was all about? But anyways, my kids now love me. I'm not traveling on. What kind of dictator are you? This man is always after me. Prior to coming on, he's like, okay, Cheryl, can you go on first? I was like, sure, I can do that for you, sweetheart. It was your birthday yesterday. So, of course, I can go first so nobody else has to, kind of warm you up, try to get us talking in a little bit of way, try to make you laugh and giggle. And here he is still directing. I actually had to stop him and say, would you please shush? Because you're now messing up with my head. I'm going to start doing your set before you get here. And what does he start telling you about? My pierced nipple. Okay, so here's the man back so he can tell you all about it again. Here's to my lovely Robbie.
Great job there, Cheryl. Fantastic.
I don't know if you could hear me in there peeing, but that's where I had gone. I apologize for having bodily functions.
You're a man of the world. It's fine.
I am. It's also too much coffee. However, I was just in the bathroom reflecting on where Cheryl and I met. Actually, a lot of people are quite surprised when they find out I used to be the light man for an exhibit where they had dead bodies. It was the wildest thing. Wildest thing. Turns out that's not a bone, but yeah, we've been together ever since. So, wow, hey, I've been looking at this birthday thing and reflecting on being old. And yeah, apparently, while I was in the bathroom looking down, just having a little gray hair down there didn't make my pecker look any more distinguished than it did yesterday. So that hasn't grown any in its advancement in age. It's still got to look like an inner child. It actually looked up at me, started singing old Bryan Adams tunes that we didn't remember from when we were younger. No, it's six string, not you had your first real sex dream at the 5 and dime. I mean, I did. It was a strawberry beret. It was awesome, right? But as I'm standing there thinking, how old am I actually getting? I'm thinking the internet has been telling me lately. Has anybody seen this new fucking trend? Let's put up a picture and then say, for us old fucking people, let's show these younger kids how much fun it was back in the 80s. And fuck, here it comes up. The never-ending fucking story. A movie, wasn't it so much better if you remember this? If I remember this, I remember the beating I took saying, hey, man, you know what would look really cool when I go into grade 8? One of those never-ending haircuts that Bowie had. That's going to make me popular as fuck. And sure as Christ, didn't matter what side of the fence you were on, which bathroom you used, didn't matter how you went. All it turned out in, winded up under the friggin' jackboot of somebody who didn't think it was actually okay. And I, if I grow hair at my advanced age, would still have that fucking haircut. Why? Because it's just never fucking ending. That was the point. But it doesn't mean that a meme on Facebook means, hey, okay, boomers. No, fuck you. We had better movies. Nope, we didn't. We're all lying. That's why you just keep remaking them and think it's good. Speaking of old things that keep getting recycled, I am glad I was able to fuck up my wife's head during her set, yet still prove Dino wrong that I can shut up for 5 minutes. And I'm going to do it again, maybe even longer, for our next wonderful comedian that's coming up. I really love this guy. Every time I'm watching him, he just makes me want to wish I was a hell of a lot fucking kinder, but I'm not, so I'll never get on that goddamn show. But give it up for my kind friend, Mr. Matt Duffy.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Rob. And it's great you hosting here tonight. We will say tonight, I have not been feeling very well recently. I've had some stomach issues. And mostly because the Gut Busters from Eargasm Comedy. It's mostly that. Like, a lot of laughs. It probably laughing a bit too much. But earlier this week, I did have to go to a walk-in hospital. And you think it is like the name says, you can just walk in. But I should have known this place had a bit of a problem because there was a car right out front. And a guy went on his window and he yelled at me. He's like, hey, hold the door open. And I did. And he started yelling. He's like, hey, I'm here to pick up my prescription. Here, just driving through, here to pick it up. So that's just a sign. It's a drive-through clinic. But anyways, went in and the receptionist asked me, she's like, hey, how you doing today? And I said, just peachy, obviously, because I like to go around to all walk-in clinics and just say, "Hey, good morning. How you guys doing today? Just need a little, how you doing? Everything doing all right?" She said, "Yeah, we got that covered." So I'm waiting for the doctor, and they said that, "Hey, 9:35, that's your appointment." At 11, I get to know there's a slight delay. By 12:30, I see the doctor walk by. 1:45, I'm in a private room to meet the doctor's chair. I knew it was the doctor's chair because the doctor's name was on the chair. It was a good conversation. Mostly one-sided. A lot like this. 20 minutes later, I get the doctor, and the doctor says, "Hey, you doing okay?" And I said, "Yep, you know what? Thanks a lot. Sorry I wasted your time. This was just all fun and games." Did not go over well. Doctor did not like that joke. Then doctor was like, "What's the problem?" Literally turned on me like I was like a debt collector, asking her, like I'm bothering her. So I'm like, "Okay, well, you know what? My stomach hurts." And she said, "Well, point to where the pain is." Where the pain, I just said it to myself. So I was like, "I'm mostly in the face." In the face. It's like a no, right here. Right here. She's like, "That doesn't seem right. Sounds like it's more like a nasal infection." I was like, "Oh, shit." And she's like, "From the nose." She's like, "That makes sense." So I'm looking for a new doctor. But I have been diagnosed with extreme sarcasm. And the suppositories, guys, they're huge. But they go both ways. So progressiveness for the win. That was my cute little thing I want to do. Thank you very much.
All right. Keep it going, Matt. Keep it going for Matt. All right. So you ever just kind of, you're sitting around, you're doing fuck all day. We all have those days. We just don't want to do nothing. So what did I do? I decided to let Dino do his fucking job. And now, a word from our sponsors. After these messages, we'll be right back. That's your cue, Dino.
By Exclusive Housekeeping Services. Give them a call at 216-650-7984. This month they're offering a 2-hour deep clean for $160 because we all know spring cleaning is here and it isn't going away until we get it done. Give Exclusive Housekeeping Services a call at 216-650-7984 and let them know that Eargasm Comedy sent you. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please give us a like, give us a share, even subscribe to one of our many channels. Or even better, hit us up on the Cash App or become a member of our Patreon group. We'd love the support and love to keep producing comedy for every one of you. Also brought to you by Captain Surge White Nuts, the grease cleaning, erection giving, digestion helping, stool softening, pain thinning, tick removing, super power granting holiday drink for lovers. I'm so proud of the timing on how that worked out.
Okay, I'm not sure how that all worked out. Whether you worked my mic, I worked my mic, magic happened, you said you were a witch. I don't know what happened. It was a technical difficult. That's why I don't make decisions and get the fucking... I don't have no authority around here. Okay, cool. Wow. I was just thinking I'd made one too many jokes about the fact there's like some pretty weird things because I'm, again, birthday focused, right? Why? Because I'm a narcissistic prick and it's all about me because it's my fucking birthday. But I figured out who else it is, so I'm going to share a little bit. Who, had he, not lived that kind of shitty lifestyle and smoked a lot of drugs and stuff like that, would probably be here telling jokes and not, have stopped. And, that's what they call it, gambling. Tupac Shakur. I can't even say it anymore. Tupac and I were born on this very day, June 16th.
Wow.
1971. I know. He was born in Harlem. the East Coast. I was born on the West Coast, right? So you see what was had he lived, and this whole I know, Dino, you want to jump in here, but I'm not going to let you because it's my turn, and it's all about me now. And I'm enough respect where you listening. You should have been because it was all about me. But what happened was I happened to be with that lovely wife. You maybe heard while she was screaming there because it was pretty loud when I got her with that bird. But she was born on, get this, December the 8th. I know. So I'm not allowed to play darts or read Catcher in the Rye on her birthday and focus on John Lennon. So, speaking of this, I've decided to focus on new things. And I'm going to bring up our next performer, Phil Mango, because I want to see what the bird has to tell us.
Bird is the word. Thank you so much. I just flew into Toronto and boy, my arms feel fine. Even with, bro, never skip arm day, am I right? Sun's out, guns out. I'm sure you've heard of about that chicken, that chicken who crossed the road. Well, what do you call a chicken who crossed the dusty road twice? A dirty double crosser. Speaking of my ex, why shouldn't you tell a pig a secret? Because they're squealers. Okay. Maybe not all pigs. They're pink, and I'm partial to pink. Alliteration for the win. Do you know what pigs do when they get sunburnt? They need ointment for their burns. Now that I'm a city bird, I've been talking to lots of new people, like this Hindu vegan I met. I asked him, hey, why no beef? And he said, you haven't offended me yet. And I said, holy cow! And he said, exactly. After this show, I'm getting my feathers trimmed. I found this great barber who recently won this big race because he took a shortcut. That's my time. I'm cutting it short just like my barber did. You've been the fabulous first audience ever, and I'll never forget any of you. I'm Phil Mango. Good night.
That was awesome.
You just have to have a soft spot for the bird because
That bird.
again, it's not the first time I've sat down and actually had, I mean, I had my ex-wife. I'm allowed to say it around my new wife, who's much better. But my ex had a parrot. Noisiest motherfucking thing you ever came across. I couldn't fucking stand it, but goddamn did I like that bird. However, I'm going to get a little serious before I bring up our closer tonight. And the reason being is it's actually a pretty special day for me. Not just my birthday, but it's actually the first birthday without my mom or my brother here to celebrate it. So what's been actually interesting is most of the people in my comedy family, whether I know them, they're from a mother from another brother like Dino, and thank God I'm the cute one, and mom liked us better, fictional as it may be. My good friend Duff, our friend the Bird, and I couldn't think if there's a birthday closer that I would want on a show than our next performer, because I truly love watching this person perform. I never fail to laugh, so I'm just going to let Alexa, his Azari speak for themselves. Have at her, my dear.
Hi, so excited to be here. So I want to talk about I had sex with my ex recently, and I kind of felt dead afterwards. I think that was just from digging up the casket. It's weird when I tell people I have a dead ex, because half the time they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And the other half of the time they're like, how did you get away with it? But the thing people don't realize about him, like, he was a drug dealer. And being a drug dealer is some of the sayings people say when people die just don't make sense. Like after he died, my mom came up to me and she was like, honey, he died because God needed him a lot more than you did. And I just looked at her and I was like, did God need a plug? Also, I kind of think, what if God was a woman and God just wanted some of that prison dick? Like, I like to picture him as he was. So I imagine up there, he's sleeping. Everyone knows God is an overweight white woman and just needs some prison dick. So he is up there using God's car to drive to his side chick's house. Also, I've been going on a lot of dates, and I feel like back in the day, people used to talk to people on dating websites because they wanted to see if they wanted to get married. Now I feel like people talk to you on a dating site to see if you'll let them fist you. Like, people are so kinky. This guy said he wanted to hook up at his work. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll indulge him for a little bit. So I go to his work. We have sex. He thought it was the hottest thing ever. The kids in his classroom were horrified.
Oh.
Also, I went on a date with a guy, and we went to a park. And have you ever noticed it's okay to go up to strangers and ask to pet their dogs, but it's not okay to go up and ask to pet their kids? Because there's a name for people that pet other people's kids. They're called Catholic priests. So he went up to every person at the park. He went up to this old guy, asked to pet their dog. Went up to this kid, asked to pet their dog. So I wanted to get on the action. So I saw this couple walking. I go up to the guy and I'm like, can I pet your dog? I don't know why the girl got mad when I started petting her. I used to have a drug problem. And when I tell people I used to do drugs, they're like, you don't look like you ever did drugs. And then I smile and they're like, I can see it now. I have a smile that could light up any crawl space. Like, this guy hit me up on a dating site and he was like, what that mouth do? And I was like, well, have you seen me? It's obviously rotting. So my family actually, because to support my drug addiction, I sold drugs. And my family actually found out I was selling drugs. My mom was so pissed. She called me up. She was like, you're selling drugs? And you still can't make a student loan payment? I think she was almost more mad that I was bad at selling drugs. Like, she was like, what did they teach you in business school? And I was like, they taught me how to do drugs, not sell them. And I tried to be a good drug dealer. So obviously, if you want to maximize profits, you got to cut the drugs. But I didn't use fentanyl because I'm not a monster. I used my estrogen pills. This guy came back. He was pissed off. He was like, yo, I tried this batch. It didn't even get me high. And I was like, yes, but your tits have never looked better. Then I thought to myself, damn, I'm putting way too much estrogen in this because he's acting like a bitch right now.
Wow.
So it's Pride Month. Have you ever noticed that everyone is Irish on St. Patrick's Day? But not everyone's gay during Pride. The only time most guys I know are gay is when they need weed. But my work sent out an email for Pride, and it had some do's and don'ts about how to treat gay people. And in the don'ts, it said, hey guys, don't use these words. And then listed out every slur for a gay person in rainbow font. Actually spelled out. And I was thinking to myself, no other demographic group that is okay to do. Could you imagine if they did that for Juneteenth? They would have a lawsuit. So I just thought to myself, what if I just held an HR meeting? And I was like, listen, guys, I'm all for inclusivity. That's why we cannot go up to Wong from accounting and say, Chinese, Japanese, bend my knees, look at these, then pull your tits out like so. You can't do that. It's not appropriate. You can't go up to Lisa from HR and say she looks like she ate the other half of the accounting department. You can't do it. Like, what are you people thinking? You can't say she looks like the Michelin Man, even if she does. And for God's sakes, just because Pedro is at the water cooler does not mean you can ask him if he's an illegal immigrant. Just because he has a funny mustache and he wears a sombrero and you think he's about to say andale, andale, and then run towards the border to do it. That would be racist. I hate my job so much. But like, I don't get why some people who are trying to be woke think it's that they should explain in great detail the things you shouldn't do to be prejudiced. I feel like that's kind of more prejudice. And then I have one last thing. It's a little story because I'm kind of getting homesick. I'm in Texas now, and I miss my best friend. Now, my best friend was a really interesting person. She had sex for cat food. She had 7 cats, and she prostituted herself with Walmart sugar daddies for cat food and paper towels. Could you imagine if she got caught, what her name would be in the newspaper? It would be the Fancy Feast felon, the Purina prostitute.
Oh.
She told a guy on the website, she was like, I'm bisexual. Listen, you got to buy me paper towels and cat food. I don't have a better punchline for that, but it's going to That's 100% true story. That's all I have.
Oh my goodness. See, again, you didn't fail to disappoint. So we kind of burned through that. We got time if people want to keep going.
Could someone think of a
absolutely, right?
Like a good punchline for that Catwoman joke.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to give her up, but you know those temptations.
The temptations.
It's the cat tree.
She had a menu. It said hand job, 2 boxes.
Oh, this doesn't surprise me.
4 boxes. Sex without a condom, 5 3-paper towels. Everything else I don't do. She made it as a memo in her phone and sent it out on Bumble.
Wow.
See again, but because I'm cheap, like if I use 2-ply, is that going to get some cut the deal here? Again, what did I learn in business school? The art of the hustle really would be the greatest thing because funniest thing, right? I come from this small town, right? Like everybody talks about this. We come from a small town. Well, the funny thing was, economics teacher was also the local pot dealer. So what did I learn? Well, number one, don't fucking front right off the get-go. You'll make more. So I wasn't a bad drug dealer. I got everybody's attention, even the police. I was so good at it that even the police realized I was selling drugs, and everybody came to get me. But yeah. They were the last ones to do it. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. I decided I was going to, become a lot lizard. I was going to try, but it turns out that's not. Yeah, I know, right? Like I was going to be Leo the lot lizard, and I was going to talk with like a Spanish accent or something, just try and church it up a little. Like, hello, I see your truck is lonely. I'll knock on your door and smack in. And then, of course, they're going to realize I'm there and asking, yeah, I run the tire shop over there. You got a flat. I was just looking to make some money, right? What were they thinking, right? Leo the Lot Lizard's Tire Service was what I was going to call it. But, nobody buys that shit, right? They always think nefarious thoughts, right? Again, nefarious thoughts. I've been realizing as I keep flipping through these reels, right? Like, anybody else addicted to this shit? Because I'm going to blame shit right off the get-go. Because as soon as I heard she shit on the bed, that's some stuff I want to see. And I've been addicted to these reels. But what I figured out is because they're like short, right? They just get you interested to try and get the fucking follow, right? But I don't do that. I just swipe up, right? But I found that reels are actually just small movies that I watch while I poo. That's what's going on now, right? Now, my lovely wife with the, small dart injury, likes to make fun of me about this because I'll always tell her these interesting facts I find out on these reels because everybody knows this shit's true, right? Like, We know it was a snuffle bump. I mean, again, right? How I was starting to lose interest because I'd been eating a lot of cheese and had IMB, so I wasn't doing as much, and I was missing out on some of these reels. I hear, have you seen what she did on the stand? Not yet, but I feel some movement happening. I'm an old man. So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm all my lovely wife is hearing is weird noises like, isn't every hour a happy hour? Like, what the fuck is he doing in there? I've taken all the magazines out. He can't do it no more. Because, I mean, let's talk about these 12-step programs. I mean, really, how does one actually stop being a sex addict at Sex Anonymous? Like, you just, oops, here we go again, right? Like, it's just a never-ending pattern. I've tried fucking everything and nothing's working. So that's why I decided I wanted to be Leo, the Lot Lizard's tire service, so I could get rid of some of that energy. And as you can see, I was just freestyling a little bit. We call it in the biz, because that's been our show. Let's give it up for my lovely wife. She's over there. She's not going to run over here, and I ain't moving the camera because I'm old and I'm fucking lazy and set in my ways, and I ain't goddamn doing it. So, Cheryl Hall, Weber.
She should not run.
Cheryl Weber. Whoever barking, don't matter. I got them too, don't matter. So let's give it up for Cheryl Weber. Dino, cut out that part where I lose your other name. And for taking the bullet because, as Dino said, she is an angel and she's always supported what I do. So after, the morale beating, I worshipped her feet again and said, they're charging for that. And she says, go get my purse. And here we are. So let's give it up for her doing her time. She did some good stuff there. That's right. Thanks for the clap. Enough of that. Then we had Mr. Matt Duffy, my good friend. You have to check out, if you're in the Toronto area, his Kill 'Em With Kindness show. I've heard good things. See what I did there?
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to use a good joke that's awful clean, always remember the one thing between snot and broccoli that's different. None of my boys ever ate broccoli willingly. So, moving along, let's hear it for the lovely bird that told us some wonderful dad jokes. And they made sense, probably because I was a little high. It's my birthday. I can do what I want. Sometimes it carries over a couple of days. That's how hangovers work. And the best way to cure it is to keep on drinking. Thank God it's the weekend. Give it up for Flamingo. And of course, I'm going to try real hard because, again, if you're going to be a good drug dealer, don't have any teeth, so I can't really say her name right. But let's give it up for Alexia. Here is I. He didn't fail to disappoint. He made it laugh and was, again, one of the best closes I've had. This has been a great show, guys. And again, thanks for the love that I missed out on from the family. It has been a happy birthday, and that's been Eargasm, guys.
Bye.